Hey everybody, welcome back to the Print 3D channel. Today is September 19th, and that means day 262 of the 3DP 365 project. And on today's episode, we printed out a couple of items. We printed out this cool spinning coaster from Muz64, and we printed out this cool 3D scan of the three wise frogs from MustangDave, so stick around. Hey everybody, welcome back, and thank you for joining me here for day 262 of the 3DP 365 project. On today's episode, we printed out a couple of items. Originally, I was just going to have this as today's print. This is the spinning coaster from Muz64. And the reason why I printed it is I wanted a cool display stand that I could slowly turn and take video of so you guys could see some better imagery of all the prints, especially the small ones. Now I could gMaxSize this because it's just basic. There's just two pieces. There's no bearings. It runs completely on friction. Basically, you put a little bit of silicone lubricant or a really good gel lubricant on here that isn't going to wear away or stain or destroy the PLA or whatever material you decide to print this with. And when you put them together, it kind of makes them stay together with a little bit of stickiness, but it makes it spin a lot more freely. And then when you put weight on it, obviously it'll spin a lot better. And the reason why, obviously, like I said, was so I could show you guys some better footage of the smaller printed models. And if I decided to gMaxSize this, if I thought this was a really functional item, then I'd have one that I could put bigger prints on and also turn and show you guys some really cool footage. But once I had it printed, I thought this isn't really enough to show you guys, because what am I going to show you? I could go grab an older print off the wall, off the giant print wall behind me, and show you how it works. And I don't really have any silicone lubricant handy laying around. And I was going to use some vegetable oil, but I didn't want to just MacGyver this. I wanted to do it properly. So I said, why not just print something else to show you guys how it sits on here and how it turns, and the fact that it does work. I mean, it does work just like this without any lubricant in here. It does spin pretty good. It is very fidget spinner-like. And the print itself, it turned out okay. I am having a little bit of issue with my top layers now. I'm getting some minor gaps between the layer lines on the top layers, only on the top layers. Everything else seems to be pretty clean. There's even some bridging that went on underneath there for the little knob that goes into the base. And you can see a little bit of that same gapping that's going on between the layer lines and the bottom piece too. Now everything else is printing out okay, the infill, and I've had that issue before pop up on prints where I see a little bit of gaps in between. It's not perfect, and I like to have perfect prints, so I'm curious of why that would happen. I have my infill width, which I believe is a universal setting now in Simplify 3D that would actually affect the infill and the top layer fills at 140% width to add a little extra in there. So I'm not sure if that's the setting or if I need to do something else, or maybe just slow down the print. I'm not sure. So I'm curious what you guys think. But either way, this is a functional item and it really does work, and it's very cool. Muz64 is an amazing designer. I featured his prints on this 365 project many times over the last 261, 262 days now. And they are really cool, and they're always easy to print. And of course, a lot of his stuff is dinosaur based, so my wife really likes it too. But this is really cool. It comes in 3 different sizes. This is the 100mm or 10cm base that spins. And they just print out the 2 pieces and pop them off the print bed carefully so you don't warp them. Make sure you maybe even use a brim on these. I just used the skirt because I used the sanded acrylic on the gMax. And it always does a good job of holding really tight on my prints. And the surface finish on those bottom layers is pretty strong. I like what those look like. I don't have to really worry about adding Magic Goo or other materials. Although I do have some Magic Goo, and I'm going to be testing it on the TiVo printer. But that's for something later on. But back to this print. I do want to solve that top layer issue, but this is a functional item. It does work. And then, like I said, I wanted to show you guys something else to put on here. So I went and printed out the 3 wise frogs from MustangDave. And this is really cool because this is a 3D scan of a real item, and I love those kind of prints. People put a lot of time and effort into making these items 3D printable, so you probably should do your best and print them at the highest resolution. So that's what I did. I did a 0.16mm layer height with 3 top layers, 3 bottom layers, 3 perimeters. I think I used 10% infill on this model, and we printed out at 40mm/second, which I think is just a little bit too fast for this model because I did have that seam pop out again. but the rest of the print looks really good. Dave did an amazing job with the scans and cleaning everything up. I do have a little bit of an overhang issue here on the bottom near one of the arms, but it's not too bad. It's not tragic. It's actually negligible, and I'm not going to reprint it because of that. But the big problem again is my seam, and I'm going to show you guys. I think maybe I didn't open up my latest tuned file from all your guys' suggestions on how to fix my seam. So it popped out, and it may have a lot to do with print speed, because once this gets a little bit higher, it's really printing pretty fast. This is at 100% scale. I didn't gMaxSize it or scale it down. This is actually actual size of the model that Dave posted up on Thingiverse. But you can see right away that seam started to open up near the top, which I'm guessing is because we were printing a little bit too fast. And that's something I'm really curious about, something that Simplify 3D should have as an option, is what I call variable speed printing. And I think it's a really cool idea. It's something maybe they could flesh out, that as the model gets slower, not using all those variables by reducing speed and fan and all that other stuff, but actually have a variable speed setting. So you could set a start print speed and a finish print speed for situations just like this, where you have a seam or something like that, or you have small areas and you really want to slow it down. It'll really help the printing, but it may be too hard to implement. But either way, the print itself, it turned out really good. It actually took about 4.5 hours to print at 0.16 millimeter layer height, because I just wanted to capture all the detail. And I did want to give you guys something else to see on the little spinning coaster from Muz64. And let me see if I can do all this with balancing it out. But it does actually turn, it does function, even with this light model on here. And if I did put some silicone lubricant in between the two pieces, that would probably help out a lot. So it was a very successful print, and I really love this little 3 wise frogs. It's hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. It's a good way to live too. And it's a really cool print, and I'm gonna keep it on my desk to remind me to stay humble. Well, that about wraps it up for day 262 of the 3DP 365 project. I hope you guys found this episode interesting and informative. If you're looking for ways to support the channel, check out the affiliate links down in the description. If you make a purchase through Amazon, MatterHackers, or GearBest, it'll kick a little bit back to the channel. It won't cost you a penny, and I really appreciate it. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, comment, like, and share those videos, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.